Well, she dropped me and my son off to work, and from what I went back home and got our granddaughter something to eat, and then took her to school, and then came back home, and then she was getting ready to have something to eat, and before she took her insulin, and that's when she had her stroke and heart attack, and she was on the floor for 6.5 hours.
This man walked into the front lobby and was weeping and very sad. And I said, "Can I help you?" And he had to sit down and tell me that his wife was coming. And about a half an hour later, the ambulance brought her in by stretcher. We had a room ready and got her in and situated.
She's unable to use her right side. She was unable to self-propel herself in a wheelchair. She had poor trunk control. It's hard for her to sit up in a wheelchair. She was a Hoyer lift, very dependent on us for all of her cares.
Yeah, she was employed in 1981 out there at the VA. She worked in EMS, which is housekeeping. She was only there for a couple months and then was detailed down into the laundry. And she stayed there for about 15 years or more, and then they contracted out the laundry, and then she went up in the dietetic service. And then it wasn't much later she had to take a medical retirement. And I think that worked out fine because she got to spend a lot of time with our granddaughter.
She was driving the car, she was taking care of the house, and maybe with some help from his mother or some other family member, I think she was the sole responsible person of paying the bills and different things like that.
We don't see the behind the scenes, per se, of getting us guys up, getting us around, doing things that, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? On top of their other stuff like going out and paying bills, and other stuff like that. I know now exactly what she was talking about.
It was definitely an adjustment for her and her husband. She was completely independent at home, and then, having to depend on us pretty much for everything. She was unable to eat. She had a tube feed. She was unable to communicate, make her needs known.
It wasn't so much the medical issues or the medicines that we had to really look at, as was more so the process in which we worked with the Armor tool. We worked with each discipline to give us the full picture of who Diana is.
She's highly motivated, so there was a lot to work with there, but the psychosocial aspect for her was probably well outweighed the medical management for her.
But the big thing is just, how do we get her home and get her provided the services she needs, and how do we get that paid for and keep her safe?
She doesn't want to go to bed because she's so afraid she's going to miss something. She wants to be part of everything. And we never told her that she was handicapped. We never told her that she couldn't. There are things we certainly have to help her with and assist with and find ways for her to be able to do it, but she does everything.
She worked with speech therapy while she was here, and they worked with her for a long time, and she doesn't have the tube feeding anymore. She can feed herself. She eats very well.
When they brought her here, she was not coherent, and now she's doing things that she couldn't do back then. And it's a long process. I think they've done real well with her.
I think she's really exceeding the expectations within a year to progress as far as she's come within a year.
I'm not entirely sure that we had to help her so much as just encourage and support. She has an amazing will to survive.